Hello ladies and gentlemen, Willie here. So we've just had Phase 3 announced, and a bit more insight on exactly what is coming when. Certain bits of content are actually coming ahead of the Phase 3 release date, so we're going to be going over what bits of content are new and what you can look forwards to, and some things that may interest you about this new patch. So the patch is due to drop on the 12th of February for all realms simultaneously, and on this day everything expected from Phase 3 will be active and in the game, and there's quite a bit to get through, so let's get started. The very first thing related to Phase 3 is already active as of now, and this is the attunement for Blackwing Lair, which could have been done as of the 10th of January onwards when the announcement was made. If you're raiding, you really want to go and get this done prior to the release of Blackwing Lair, because the alternative is to complete the majority of UBRS each time you want to get into BWL. I've covered it previously, so skip ahead if you want here, but I'm just going to mention it as it's simple enough. You want to defeat the Scar Shield Quartermaster outside the entrance to LBRS, pick the letter up, and then start the quest. And the quest is simple enough, you just have to complete a run of UBRS and click the orb behind General Drakisaf. And just so you know, you can't share the quest. I did it yesterday to test it out, but you can all loot the item as a raid. So if you see any other people standing about, invite them all to the same raid as you, so you're all on the same tag. Get this done, and then you can activate the orb on the far end of the walkway to the right of the entrance and teleport directly in when it's live. Next thing up, of course, is Blackwing Lair itself. We all know what this means: new raid, new tier gear, or more specifically the rest of tier 2 able to be accessed, new bosses and so on. It's going to be great, apart from the suppression room. If you are a rogue, remember to bring your thieves' tools to BWL so you can actually disarm the traps, or everyone's going to have a collective sigh at you. It's like saying you're going to douse and then leaving your quintessence in the bank. Yeah, totally never done that one. I'll put out some separate videos on BWL giving a bit more detail later on, so I'm not going to chat on about it here too much now because I want to look at other areas of the patch. Still clearing Molten Core for those bindings, as you just may be for the rest of Classic, if not whatever comes next. Well, rejoice, because come Phase 3, your trips to the exceptionally inconveniently placed Duke Hydraxis will come to an end. If you completed his questline up to the quest Hands of the Enemy and are at Revered, you'll be able to buy an Eternal Quintessence. This is just like the Aqua version, however, as the name suggests, it can be reused. The Eternal version still has a cooldown, so one person can't just douse every single rune and you need a bunch of them, but if you can get hold of them, I would make the journey on patch day one last time. The Sunken Temple class quests are finally here. Whether you've been clearing Molten Core every week or are still leveling, these have great rewards for everybody and will be well worth a look into. Some of the rewards are very unique and not just stat sticks that will easily be replaced at a later date. I'm not going to go into granular detail on every quest specifically because it will take ages, and let's be honest, Questy will pretty much do a better job anyway. Quest will start at a class trainer in your faction capital, and then we'll end up with you needing to collect something from the Sunken Temple to finish. That's the gist of every single quest every class has. So I want to take a quick look over the rewards for you guys though. Warriors items are good overall, a very well statted helm. Notice anything in particular about this? It's a downgraded Lionheart helm, 1% less crit and hit. It's important to note that Lionheart is PvE BIS for the whole of Classic. It's worth investing into sooner than later, so based off that, I'd give the helm a miss. The shoulders are equally quite tempting, good stats and some hit on them as well. What won't be replaced is that trinket, well, not for a very long time anyway. 75 strength and 9 health per 5 for 1 minute is very good. It pairs up well with every second death wish, about as long as the duration of fights currently, so you can choose when you need to use it. I mean, do you want me to go on? This is the clear choice for me here. Diamond Flask will be the go-to. Next up, Paladin. Items largely focused around healing here. Blizzard just isn't really giving Paladins much of a break, are they? Decent two-handed sword for Ret, reasonably slow, gives more holy damage and comes with some nice resistances on it too. If you're super into your Ret gameplay though, you probably want to go and get the Unstoppable Force from the AV rep eventually, so you could miss this one out, or it could bridge that gap quite nicely. The ring is very well statted, it's pretty decent all-round item. It's just a shame it only has healing on it, not spell power. There are a number of better or equally good rings you can get hold of fairly easily though if you enjoy Holy, like the reward from saving Moira in Blackrock Depths or the ring at the end of the Tyrion questline in Dreams. I do like the orb, however, for any pally spec actually. Crit is very important for Ret to be able to keep Vengeance up. Holy loves crits to get mana refunds with Illumination, and for prot, more crit means more threat. Once again, I'd take the trinket here personally. Oh, and finally, don't forget the holy meme stone, might stone I mean. 10 minutes of 300 attack power and 400 extra holy damage against undead is actually an insane number. One-time use, of course. I'm hoping to see some rep pallies put warriors and rogues to shame on KT with this buff up. If it works in raids, that is. I hope it does. Hunter now. First up, trinket number 1, the Devil's Sword Tooth. And at first glance I saw this and thought, this looks like perhaps the worst item I've ever seen. It looks so bad that I thought I must be missing something you can use it for. People are claiming it's good for proccing Frenzy on your pet. Okay, sure, but a 2-min cooldown for one of your trinket slots to proc your pet's Frenzy? Maybe it's good with certain hard-hitting pet abilities in a later expansion? It's unique, that's for sure. Maybe I'm downrating it. If you know of a cool use for it, you can let me know below, because I'm not thinking of one. The Devil's Sword Eye looks a whole lot more attractive, which sounded kind of weird. Anyway, the hit is kind of whatever really. You should be hit capped without needing this. 150 AP is very nice for 20 seconds though. Rapid fire baselines 15 seconds and 19 seconds with 2 pieces of tier 3. So this looks like a pretty good pickup for me. Just to mention the spear, I wouldn't get it personally. Barbarous Blade is a lot better and easy to get, either by soloing Diamol tribute runs or buying it fairly cheap off someone with a cleared ID. Shaman next. Once again, a very clear choice for me here. The glove sounding curiously similar to the whole Azurite system retail currently has. Decent stats, easily upgradable, yeah. Staff is pretty much the same story. Also, its attack speed is really fast, which isn't really ideal for enhancement. If you do love enhancement, once again, grinding out the AV rep for Unstoppable Force should be something you want to do long term. Time and time again, the trinket's the go-to, and I'd say the same applies here. I would say this is arguably the best for every specialization Shaman has as well. They are a mana-hungry class, and this is a nice bit of mana returned to you as well as your party. This is nearly twice as good as a talented Mana Spring Totem as well, restoring 336 mana over its duration. A very solid little item, I'd grab it. Also, it does count as a Water Totem apparently, so don't overlap it with a different one. Rogue has a helm, which is pretty good, not quite as good as Mask of the Unforgiven from Strat Undead though. The boots increase your stealth level, which aren't half bad either. There are a number of other boots that have this effect, and it's only really for the effect that you would get them. The cape does look interesting, less fall damage, and does stack with safe fall from what I read, in case you really just enjoy jumping off cliffs for some reason. As far as I know, this effect isn't really replaceable, so I'd go for it based on that. Druid items are solid, nothing super unique. Each one fits a certain specialization, with a chest for Feral, a staff for Moonkin, and a chest for Restoration as well. Honestly, the Resto chest is very good here. A little bit worse than Robe of the Exalted from Strat Undead, so pick whichever suits your playstyle here really. Priest items are pretty cool. First, the ring, it looks bad, very bad actually. I'm not quite sure what's meant to be going on with this item. As mentioned earlier for Paladin, there are easier and better options to get from quests as well. The trinket's solid for a healer, no brainer there really. Equally, the wand is very good for Shadow. Nice of Blizzard to acknowledge the specialization exists sometimes, right? It's not as good overall as the one from Skull and Strat Undead, but he's a rare spawn, so I wouldn't advise trying to farm that unless you don't value your sanity, so that one's up to you. Mage now. First of all, the dagger looks really bad, like terrible. No spell power, no stamina for PvP, a low percentage proc chance for a pretty lackluster proc. I'm gonna have to give this one a miss. The neck is solid and won't be replaced easily. There is a neck you can buy with Darkmoon Faire tickets that's a clear upgrade, or a few other options, but I could see this being a pretty solid choice here. Finally, the Fire Ruby is some good meme material, and I like me some meme material. 3-minute cooldown boosts your next fire spell by up to 100. No one else has the 3-minute cooldown? Presence of Mind, upon Pyroblast. If you're into that kind of thing, this would be the go-to here, otherwise the neck is pretty good. Last but not least, the Warlock. All the items here are very good. The staff not only makes you look really edgy, which is super important for Warlocks of course, but it's well statted for DPS and has some hit on it. The chest once again is very good, won't be replaced for a good while. Whilst these are both good, they will be replaced in time. What won't be replaced is the ability to summon a Voidwalker for free every 30 minutes. Sometimes you just don't have a shard, you forget it, whatever it may be. This is just a nice little bit of flexibility to have, and it won't be replaced, ever. The trinket wins again. Next, new reputation rewards for a whole different host of factions. So depending on what you want to go for, you may wish to look into getting your rep up to benefit from some of these. The Argent Dawn brings a load of new patterns for crafting professions from honoured to revered. Most of them don't seem too exciting to be honest, but something to pick up if you're a bit more of a completionist, as well as a first aid item to cure poisons at level 60. More importantly, there is a bracer enchant for plus 24 healing. Will be good use for a while, especially gearing up when your plus healing is a bit low. Next up, the Thorian Brotherhood bring a load of new schematics into the game. Quite a few of them are for fire resist items, which have already sort of gone past their sell by date unless anything in BWL is going to warrant such a huge jump in fire resist from Molten Core to there. Tanks gear for threat mostly, and resistances don't generate threat. There are some enchants in there too, none are too great though really. Thorium Brotherhood brings loads of new weapons into the game mainly. These weapons often need some form of specialised blacksmithing, so you may need to be a master swordsmith or axesmith for some of these. Most exciting of all is Nightfall being available, which as a warlock I'm very happy about this proc coming into the game, and on hit for 15% extra spell damage to the target, so of course everyone in your raid can benefit from that. It's expensive though and requires Exalted to buy the schematic, but every raid will want a few of these, so expect high demand. Next rep is Timbermore. Once again, lots of new items for crafting professions here. Most of them are okay, but a bit expensive to make compared to some easier to get alternatives, to be honest, or items you just may already have at this point. The best thing is fortunately unlocked to Honoured, and that is the plus 15 agility enchant for melee weapons. This is the new best enchant for hunters and will make you want to search for those one-handed and off-handed weapons, so you can benefit from this twice. Every weapon is a hunter weapon, right? This can also go on twink weapons. Rogues and hunters dodge scales actively with agility, so an extra 30 agility at a low level does very strange things to the amount of dodge that you can get. Warsong Gulch. Reputation vendors will now have all the items that are listed under Honoured. Honestly, I haven't done too much Warsong Gulch personally, so I'm not sure which ones are currently missing. However, just know that all these items will now be in the game if you wanted to go and get your rep up to take advantage of that. Finally, just a quick mention to the Darkmoon Faire. This is due to come out on Monday the 10th of February, with the setup, which is just having builders doing some RP in anticipation of the event starting, beginning on the 7th of February. Now, Darkmoon Faire is either in Goldshire near Stormwind or outside of Thunderbluff, not at both places simultaneously. So we're going to have to see with the World PvP battle. I mean, the fair, of course, is going to take place closer to the release date. Also, the Darkmoon Faire does bring a new world buff into the game, Sage's Dark Fortune. If you answer in a certain way on both of his questions, you can get a damage buff. Potentially it may be used for speedrunning, or people come later raids like AQ and Naxxramas may pick this buff up and then just log out for up to a week or two until a next raid comes out and they can go and clear it. And as a final note, the Darkmoon cards themselves will begin dropping on the 5th of February, so that'll include all the cards from 1 to 8 and the aces from various bosses. If you want more info on any of the items from the fair, I did cover them recently in a video, so I don't want to repeat myself all here again. It's in my phase 3 preparation video, I will link it below. It should also help you think about what you can do prior to get ready for the phase personally as well. And that wraps up what I wanted to cover for this video, to give you a bit more of an idea of what you can look forwards to on the 12th of February and phase 3. I do hope you enjoyed, and as always, I will see you guys in the next one. If you like what you see, give the video a like and subscribe, as there's plenty more to come. As always, thank you all so much for watching. Take care. Bye.